So first we have to convert this NFA, this E transition NFA, to like a simple NFA, so to speak. So the first thing we'll use is a transition table. So we draw a transition table like so. Insert all the states from 1, so this is the start state, 2 is the accept state, and then 3, right? And then what's the language? There are symbols rather used for this NFA. We have A, and then we have B. So for each of these, we're gonna take into consideration the E transition of each, and then the A transition of the states we're gonna use here, and then also the E transition of the same thing. And then it's gonna be the same thing with B, E transition, B transition, and then E transition again. So after that, we're gonna use this thing right here. Right. So we'll start with the start state. So the start state, which is this one, has an E transition. So the basic rule for here is that so let's write right here. Every state has an E transition to itself. So this is like the golden rule, if you will. So we start with the first state. 1 has an E transition to where? To itself, that's 1. And where else? Nowhere else. So 1 has an E transition to itself. And then this one, this state right here, this state has an A transition to where? To 2. So this state has an A transition to the state number 2 and nowhere else. So it only has an A transition to state number 2 and doesn't have an A transition to anywhere else. And then state number 2 now has an E transition to where? State number 2 has an E transition. Remember this rule. State number 2 has an E transition to itself. It also has an E transition to 3. So it goes to itself and then goes to 3. We're going to take these 2 states right here and then come put them here. So it's going to be a set of states 1 goes to using the symbol A. Same thing with the B transition, right? So we're going to write 1 here. That's the state number 1. So state number 1 has an E transition to itself. And then does state number 1 have a B transition to anywhere else? State number 1 only has an A transition, no B transition to anywhere. So this here just fails because 1 doesn't go anywhere. Right, so we leave it there. This is going to be empty. So we're done with the first state, right? We're done with the first state. And now is state number 2. Right, so is this state right here. So first of all, we're going to check. The second state has E transition to where? So it has E transitions to itself. That's first, remember the golden rule. And then number 2 has an E transition to number 3, to state number 3, right? And then state number 2 has an A transition to where? To itself. As you can see, it revolves around itself here with A. And then number 3 has an A transition to where? To nowhere. So this goes to nowhere. And then the same thing here. State number 2 has an E transition to where? To itself. That's first. And then also has an E transition to itself and also to number 3. So it goes to also number 3. So we can take these 2 states, put them right here. And then for B right now, so 2 has an E transition to itself and also to 3. It has an E transition to itself and has an E transition to 3. So 2 has a B transition to where? It doesn't have a B transition, so this goes to nothing. But 3 has a B transition to 1, so this goes to 1, to state number 1. Now state number 1 has an E transition to where? To itself. And then take the state, put it right here. And then we move on to the final state, which is number 3. Move on to the final state, which is number 3. right? So the third one, this one right here. So state number 3 has an E transition to it to itself. To itself, it has an E transition and nowhere else. And then state number 3 has a transition to where it only has a B transition and no A transition. So this goes to nothing. So here we're gonna put nothing. And then now 3 has an E transition to where? To 3. We've already discovered that golden rule, remember. And then 3 has a B transition to where? To A. So we're gonna go to A right here. To 1. Has a B transition to 1, excuse me. And then 1 has an E transition to itself. So we're gonna take this thing here, put it right here. And then from there, using this, we're gonna draw the simple NFA, the one without E transitions. So we're gonna still have the same thing. We're gonna have the start state. We're gonna have the second state, which is the accept state, and then we're gonna have number 3, which is the other state. But now things are different, right? Shouldn't have put this here. So use this. Let's just put it here because I think something's gonna happen here. Okay, so state number 1 goes to state number 2 and state number 3 with A. So it's gonna go here with A, and it's also gonna go here with A. And then state number 1 goes nowhere with B, so we're not gonna include that. So now the second state, this one, it goes to 2 and 3 with A. So state number 2 goes to 2 itself with A, and then goes to 3 also with A. Remember, this is an NFA, so you can have a state and a symbol resulting in multiple states. So, and then state number 2 goes to state number 1 with B. So we're gonna go here with B. And then state number 3, this one right here, goes nowhere with A, but goes to state number 1 with B. So it's gonna go to the state with B. This is a simplified version of this. So now we'll move to the DFA. So now we'll focus on this NFA. So we're gonna make a transition table. Wow. So the symbols are A, B, and then we start with the start state. Right, start with the start state. Unlike the previous one, so here we inserted all the states, right, in order to get the equivalent NFA of the E transition NFA. But here we're trying to get an NFA. We're trying to get a DFA from this NFA right here. So here, first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna insert the start state. So this is how it's gonna work. So with the start state, where does it go with A? So with the start state, with A it goes to 2. So you're gonna write 2 here. So the start state goes to 2 with A, and it also goes to 3 with A. So we're gonna write 3 here. So now we have 2, 3. And then now for B, it goes nowhere with B. So we're gonna put this right here. It goes nowhere with B, so it doesn't matter. And then now, instead of putting this state, we're gonna put the state that arises here. So we're gonna put state number 2, 3. This is gonna be a new state we're creating for the DFA. So what you're gonna do here is say, for the state number 2, where does it go with A? It goes to itself, so it's 2. Where does it go with A? It goes to 3, so it's 3, right? And then number 3, where does it go with A? It doesn't go anywhere, so we leave it at that. 2 goes to 1 with B, and then 3 goes to 1 with B, and then we write it there. And that's it. Since there are no new like combination of states here, we're not gonna add anything here. The only thing we're gonna add is a trap state. So after that, we have this, and now we draw the DFA. Right. So with this, we can draw the DFA. So that's it. We've done it. We have successfully converted a NFA or a E transition NFA to a DFA.